There have been many historic moments for Bitcoin, for crypto over the years. But for me, Bitcoin and the Bitcoin spot ETF and what could happen this week, for me in my time in crypto, this could be the most historic week that I've ever been a part of the crypto space, ever experienced in the crypto space. And there's two pieces to this. There's two pieces to that story in terms of how this might play out. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. I just posted a little bit ago. If Bitcoin closes a weekly candle above $47,000 before the Bitcoin halving in April, this would be unprecedented and will unleash an early parabolic crypto bull move like we've never seen before. So I want to discuss what the bull move looks like for Bitcoin on the Bitcoin price chart, but I also want to talk about just that altcoin dynamic. There are so many altcoin holders out there. Ethereum, ADA, AVAX. What is potentially in store for this potentially historic moment that is getting ready to happen this week in crypto? So I want to break it all down, everybody. Please hit the subscribe, hit the like, and let's just do it. Let's start. There's two pieces, I said, to the historic moment. We're going to get to what it looks like from a price perspective, historic moment, but it's also the Bitcoin spot ETF. An approval for the Bitcoin spot ETF, which is just days away now, potentially happening. This would be what many would call a bridge to mainstream adoption. We've talked about over the years, everybody in the crypto space always talking about, since I entered crypto space, mainstream adoption, when it's going to get here, when it's going to get here. This, everybody, this is that next level. This is that huge bridge. So to give you a sense, here's a speculative post I just came across. My bet on inflow in the first week, 5 trading days after the Bitcoin ETF launch, $12 to $15 billion of inflow. Now, I just did a video yesterday. I was talking about another speculative post, somebody talking about, I think, $3.5 billion, and how that could potentially lead to like a $61,000 Bitcoin. This is 12 to 15 billion of inflow. And he says it sounds like a lot, but there will be 11 issuers competing with each other. The 11 issuers have 15 trillion assets under management. 15 billion is just 0.1% of that. So this could be, the Bitcoin spot ETF obviously is the historic thing that could happen for mainstream adoption. And let's just say it right now. No matter what happens with price in the short term, the Bitcoin spot ETF is a massive move for all of crypto in the long term. This zoomed out picture that we're just watching unfold before us cycle after cycle, not only just for Bitcoin, everybody, but for altcoins as well. Altcoin spot ETFs, they're on their way as well. So this is like the beginning of the story. Now, the Bitcoin spot ETF from a price perspective could also trigger a historic move this week. And this is what I want to discuss as well. So number one, the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, historic, obviously. Now let's look at what it looks like on the Bitcoin charts, and then we're going to look at what it looks like on the altcoin charts as well. This is Bitcoin zoomed out. I've been talking a lot about this. I don't want to just repeat myself, but it's incredibly important for context to the video. It's basically my tweet. If Bitcoin closes a weekly candle above 47,000 before Bitcoin halving in April, this would be unprecedented. And that's the point. This would be Bitcoin doing something it's never done, but that is to say, Bitcoin has reached these levels before, even the level that it's at right now. What's happening now in Bitcoin charts, not out of the ordinary. I want to give context. The last bull market high to bear market low, it's a Fibonacci, it's a bull market doors. It's that green rectangle right there. Do you see pre-Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin tested the 618 line before the halving? I talk about it all the time. Many of you are probably sick of hearing about it, but this is the move. This is the bullish indicator that I'm waiting for. If Bitcoin can break above the 618 line of the Fibonacci this cycle around before the Bitcoin halving, and notice where it's at. It's right around, well, it's around $47,000, $48,000 before the Bitcoin halving. If it can break above and close a weekly candle above that area, it would be like it's something it's never done before. And that would say you can see Bitcoin being rejected off the 618 back here before the halving, and then finally breaking above post-halving. And you go back 2 cycles, as many of you know. If we go all the way back, there's the Fibonacci retracement. There's the 618 line right here. It tested it right before the halving and failed. So we've never gotten a weekly candle above the 618 line before the Bitcoin halving. Here's what's crazy. Here's what's very crazy. Bitcoin right now is at $44,000. The 618 line right now is only 8 to 9% away. I got a comment over here from Subcritical on X. He said, I feel like 47,000 is a low bar. And I said, same. That's what's crazy about this week. It could be historic. It's not a a crazy move for Bitcoin to move 10% on any regular day, let alone in the week where a Bitcoin spot ETF is approved. Bitcoin could just soar through that 618 line, that historic line that Bitcoin has never closed a weekly candle above. Now, if it were to do that, and this is what I really want to discuss, and I should add, this Fibonacci to me is the most meaningful macro indicator because this is something I've tracked. This is a chart I charted all the way back here. You can see in 2018, this was charted. And you can just see how speculating in the moves of Bitcoin, these yellow lines even that you see on the screen, these are Fibonaccis. These are the inverse Fibonaccis of the Fibonacci we're discussing, meaning right now we're talking about the resistance Fibonacci. The reverse of that is not a bull market high to bear market low. It's actually a bear market low to bull market high, identifying the bottom of a bear market. And just look at that. Right to the 786 line, Bitcoin bottoming out. And this is what it's done cycles past in bear markets. So I just want to say these Fibonaccis from a technical analysis perspective, zoomed out, macro, long-term investor, these Fibonaccis are so meaningful to me. I know I talk about them a lot, but this is why. They've been so on point, so consistent since I've really started taking them seriously back in 2018. And I've been tracking the entire journey on this YouTube channel. So breaking this new Fibonacci resistance to the upside right now for Bitcoin would be absolutely insane before the bull market. Because let's face it, the bull market, that's the bull market doors, and this is what happens post-halving, right? There it is breaking. But imagine a move like this. This was post-2020 halving. Imagine a move like this right now, if this happened right now. So that's what could be historic this week. It's what I'm watching. I've been doing a lot of posts and just talking a lot about the question of, is it going to be different this time? Or will Bitcoin respect, even with a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, will Bitcoin just respect this entire resistance? Once it closes a weekly candle above the 618, that is not breaking the full bull market doors. Remember, the 786 is up here around $57,000. So if we're looking at this chart right now, closing a weekly candle above the 618, it really is a historic move. It's never happened, but it would still have to make the move, continued move up to the 786 line. But I will say, I think if it's closing a weekly candle above this 618, it is unprecedented, like I said in that post, and I should have actually posted 48,000. That's really where the 618 line is, but it's unprecedented, and I really do think it would trigger just an insanely early bullish move for all of crypto. And speaking of all of crypto, what does this look like? What could happen this week even with altcoins? And this is what I want to talk about. I've questioned myself, if Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved, right? Are altcoins, and say Bitcoin price is just exploding, are altcoins going to explode with Bitcoin? It doesn't seem to make sense. I think the spotlight will be on Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin dominance will be making this move, which we've been tracking to this potentially lower high. Once again, the lower high Fibonacci on the Bitcoin dominance chart. We're anticipating that Bitcoin dominance could just kind of top out this cycle around 60, maybe up to 65. And this could be the move that gets it there before the bull market and Bitcoin dominance starts falling. This is what happens in bull markets. Bitcoin dominance falls. Bitcoin dominance falls. This is what's been happening cycle after cycle. But there's room for upside. This could be the spot ETF pump for Bitcoin dominance, that last dominance pump for Bitcoin. But let's look at altcoins. The setup could be altcoins don't do much this week, maybe even fall a little bit as people get hype about Bitcoin. It's the spotlight is on Bitcoin. Let's notice though, if Bitcoin, and this is the true connection here, if Bitcoin's making a move above the 618 line, it's a very similar move to breaking into the bull market doors last cycle. And we question, well, what happened here? Right around the first week, end of October, first week of November, right here, Bitcoin's exploding. What were altcoins doing right there? That's the question. Because the question will be the same. If Bitcoin breaks into this range, it's pumping, what are altcoins doing this time around? And we can go look. Ethereum. Here it is. Ethereum. Let's zoom in on Ethereum. We're going to look at ADA and we're going to look at AVAX and we're going to get a very clear picture. Look at the last week of October right here when Bitcoin started, right? Well, it's a red candle for Ethereum. And even this next candle, Ethereum started waking up as a green candle, but then it was followed by a red candle. So end of October, first week of November, second week of November, not much going on in terms of Ethereum right there, right? And remember, Bitcoin was making some moves. This was Bitcoin breaking into the bull doors, right? End of October, first week of November, second week of November. That's a powerful move compared to Ethereum, what it was doing. But Ethereum was getting ready to start seeing really nice upward momentum. It was just lagging in power behind Bitcoin. You go to ADA, check out ADA. ADA was sleeping. And this is something that I could easily anticipate again. ADA just sleeping during this time. Check it out. End of October, right there, red candle. It's a green candle the first week of November, but really nothing special. If we zoom in and just look at this, green candle followed by a red candle. It's just simply sideways. Bitcoin was exploding through the bull market doors. Things were so hype. And ADA was sideways for weeks, 3 weeks. Finally, boom. All of a sudden, ADA wakes up. Very similar to Ethereum. So this could be the case. Altcoins do nothing, and you're going to see a lot of it. For me, I'm already anticipating this. Bitcoin has a spotlight. Bitcoin's moving. Altcoins doing nothing. Comments pouring in. Bitcoin is it, everybody. Altcoins are done. It's over. You know, why hold altcoins? And then all of a sudden, altcoins wake up and outperform Bitcoin's move. This is what happens. And this isn't a guarantee, but I'm just kind of trying to lay out speculatively what could play out this week if Bitcoin makes a power move. AVAX, not as much historical data, but look at AVAX, something like AVAX. And I'm really excited with watching Cardano and AVAX charts in particular going into the next bull cycle. But check it out. We go back to last week of October right there, red candle. First week of November back here, red candle. Barely a green candle in that third week. And this is when Bitcoin's breaking the bull market doors. AVAX doing absolutely nothing. And then look, over a month, like 2 months of just even downtrend, finally AVAX woke up. This is something, and every altcoin's going to operate different. They all do. This is something to anticipate, that altcoins lag, right? And then sometimes one altcoin will be pumping after Bitcoin or even with Bitcoin. Maybe Ethereum will pump with Bitcoin because there's the Ethereum ETF, spot ETF speculation. Maybe those two pump. Other altcoins actually trickle down, fall. These things take turns. It's truly as the cycles of crypto. But look how this is setting up to be potentially historic. And it's historic because of Bitcoin spot ETF, obviously. But it's also historic because all these moves that we're speculating on right now, the Bitcoin move through and up to the 786, entering the bull market doors, Ethereum making a potential move similar to November 2020, AVAX similar to 2020, ADA similar to 2020. We're speculating on this potential move. What's so historic about it for altcoins even is the very fact that we are well before the Bitcoin halving. And these moves that we're comparing to last cycle, these moves were well after the Bitcoin halving. This is all happening so much earlier, potentially. At the end of the day, in regards to altcoins, we have these key weekly moving averages down here. They're down there, everybody. ADA is around 36, 35 cents. Ethereum sitting, look at the confluence of these moving averages on the weekly for Ethereum. Ethereum confluence of support, right, 1850. AVAX, look at these moving averages down here, around 19 to 17. I'm not saying that these altcoins are falling right to these areas, but be prepared for continued downtrend into these areas. We're not even at Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin itself, this is historic because of the Bitcoin spot ETF. But will it be historic because it breaks the bull doors? Or will Bitcoin very simply maybe get some type of little pump, maybe to the $50,000 area? It's a shorter term target. There's a little pattern right here, right? $50,000 target and then down. Will it pump truly through the bull market doors because of the Bitcoin spot ETF? Is the biggest question on my mind. So one, it's historic because of Bitcoin spot ETF if it gets approved, but it could be ultra historic if the price actually explodes through these doors. And this is what I'm watching this week. It's going to be such an exciting week in terms of technical analysis, but just as a crypto holder in general, watching all of this play out, watching the Bitcoin spot ETF speculation alone has been fun. I wanted to just give you a broad sense across Bitcoin, altcoin charts, what I'm anticipating this week and what could potentially happen. At the end of the day, I have no idea. I'm speculating with y'all. I'm just kind of throwing my thoughts out there, tracking my crypto journey. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.